quite remember clearly, but I don't remember anyone really emphasizing in detail how everything goes. Like every last bit of the dream goes. Of the illusion of me. Of a separate entity moving in time, in a world, having relationships with other people, seeing value, meaning, having purpose in their life, reasons why they're living. All the hope for the future, all the memories of the past that mean so much to me. And all of it goes. So not only does the suffering and the intense burden of life go, but also the pleasures, the attachments, the meaning, the relationships, the desires, the wants. Eventually all of it goes. There is nothing here for you because you don't exist. So really the care and the want for anything in this world, it goes. And it simply just is what it is. It's not a thing for me to have for myself. It isn't an idea to achieve or get for myself, to fulfill myself. It isn't a relationship to add more meaning to my life, to provide greater fulfillment, more excitement, more adventures with this individual. And you know, all of those pleasures come with the pain. It comes with the suffering. Scratch that. Pain still arises here. Yeah, it has a very different sense to it. So all of the personal stuff, it goes. So the opposites go. The good and the bad, all of it, not just the bad. The person is so desperate for just the bad to go, just the suffering. And that's what's emphasized, really. That this is the way to end suffering. This is the way to end seeking. And it's never clearly put out there that it comes with a territory. Like, it's two sides of the same coin. All of it goes. Nothing remains. Here there's nothing. Well, everywhere there's actually nothing, but it might feel like there's actually something happening. That there's meaning and value to things, you, life, everything, this relationship, this achievement. You know, my sister is so wise because I mentioned this to her and she said that a part of her knew this, that that's why there were some organizations or centers that just emphasized being a person, but learning how to be more present or be more mindful, have a better experience as a person, learn how to be a more peaceful person. And for her, that was more of interest than the whole way, the whole shebang, the whole no self, the disappearance of everything. And I thought that was very smart of her. You know, not that this is bad. This just is. It's not good or bad. It's utter neutrality. And you might see this face that smiles when it's expressing, but most of the time it's not smiling like this. It's just sitting. So, you know, there's no more real excitement in life. There's no more, oh my God, I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to meet these people and do these things. And that goes. Eventually it all goes. But that, living in time, living in the idea of things, of happenings, it is what causes the suffering. It is what veils this, just the immediacy of this, just the simplicity of everything as it is, without an idea of what it is, without a concept or meaning or value or interpretation or understanding of what this is. It just is. It's the absence of time, absence of space, absence of me, mine, the absence of ownership of everything. And yes, the mind can be torture sometimes, and you know, that is a big relief. It is. The burden of life was so heavy. For an individual to feel the burden of life, that is so heavy. It really is. And sometimes it's not that noticeable, because perhaps the body's used to it. But when it goes, it's really remarkable to see how much burden was on this body. How much the identity was trying to control life, to make it the way it wanted it to go, to be something, to be an idea of itself, to fulfill this image so other people can love it, appreciate it, accept it, give it what it needed, give it worthiness, give it belonging, give it hope, meaning, value. Like, you see how complex it can be? And this is the flavor of the person. It's so dynamic, it's so layered, it's so complex. That's where the complexity of life comes in. That's where the mind chatter is never ending. It has so many things to play with. But when all of it ends, when it's seen that this is it, there's nowhere to get to. There's nowhere to go. Then there isn't that need to appear a certain way, to be a certain way, to make people love me, to make people see that I'm worthy, I'm valued, I'm enough. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. All of that really healed and simultaneously dissolved. And there was a real unconditional love of that so-called inner child that never was, but seemed to be. I'm not dismissing any of that. It has its place, it has its beauty in this abyss, in this play. And so not only are you left with nothing, there's no you. There is just nothing. And this everything is empty. There is no actual substance to anything. There is no actual solidity to anything. So awakening or enlightenment or liberation, all these meaningless words, a carrot for the person, means the end of you, the end of your life, the end of your world in its entirety, completely, fully. Everything goes. And it's like you never went anywhere. You go full circle back to when this body was born, which never happened. Nothing was born into it. An entity called Suzanne never was. It was always this. It was always just God. God is not an entity or a thing, a sense. It's not knowable. It's just this. And life was never separate from death. It was actually one and the same, which doesn't make any sense. You can't make sense of this, of life. you end up with clearly seeing that no one knows anything. No one ever did. All of it was made up, make-believe, imagined, pretend. But how real it feels. How believable it is. The game we call me and my life. It's real when it's real. But when it dissolves, it's clear that nothing's happening. No one's getting anywhere. There is no actual movement to already this, already home, already perfection, beyond opposites. You never left home. It's just home, and there is no you. Ugh, it's cold.